So I'm gonna count down 3 to 1, and I don't want all of us to shout our names out as loud as possible, right? So we all sort of know who we are. Right? 3, 2, 1.
Jack!
This is the 10th annual Fall Media Forum. It's hosted by the Twin Cities Media Alliance and the Daily Planet. And it is a community conversation. This year's theme is communicating for impact, how to tell a story to make a difference.
Our stories need to be told. It is how we connect with each other. It is how we know who we are and how we build our communities.
The Twin Cities Daily Planet really focuses on stories that aren't really seen in mainstream media. We focus on representing communities that don't typically have their voices told within a lot of the outlets that are out there.
Part of communicating for impact is knowing what you're bringing to the table and not letting how society may try to label you or box you in dictate what you think about yourself.
We'll have an opening performance by the nationally acclaimed Kevin Yang.
Do you ever ask yourself if maybe the land you stand on once belonged to someone else? Do you ever ask yourself if maybe the land never belonged to any of us and if instead we belong to the land? I want to thank Twin Cities Daily Planet once again for being so intentional, inviting artists to the table.
I want one poem for her, because my body remembers each morning the women who raised me from germination to full fruit despite our fear of trees. Their roots are what keep me grounded, what shape my tongue, because they give life despite the plot to steal their sons. Give me my poem, because.
And then we'll have our keynote speaker, who is the esteemed Nikema Levy-Pounds.
The key example that comes to mind of the power of social media is the hashtag Pointergate. And it has such wide implications for how people are portrayed, for their quality of life, for their very human dignity, that I have to get involved and use my voice and offer a counter narrative. Don't let Pointergate end here, because if Pointergate ends here, that means we're not going to reform our police department in the way that it needs to be reformed. It means that we're not going to shift the paradigm for communities of color the way that we need to.
And today has been absolutely wonderful. Everyone is very inspiring.
It's clear that the mainstream media is not interested in a complex, multifaceted look at life on the North Side and other communities. But that's okay. Northsiders have to tell their own stories. And when they do, they have a greater control over how their narratives are delivered.
So everyone on this panel is working to lift voices and share stories that are of marginalized people or stories that are absent in the media.
That was my story. My father migrated to Minnesota in the late 90s because he had the vision that he didn't want me to get lost in poverty, to not have opportunities. And it is in that spirit that I walk every day doing what I need to do to make sure that my father will be liberated soon.
I started my own business because I wanted to be able to connect really on a personal level with people and tell stories that people don't hear.
I'm pretty sure every single person in this audience has a really compelling story to tell.
We have content. The problem is we're not being listened to. Nobody's watching our stuff. People are not receptive to what we're creating, but we are creating.
I am the director of the Digital Divide Documentary Empowerment Project, which is a project that hired youth to learn how to make a documentary, and we produced a documentary called Forbidden Fruit, Hidden Gems of the North Side.
And I like being able to show different people in my community that there are youth that are actually trying to spread a good message.
Our film is a pinnacle of really telling stories and really being empowered to have the tools to do that and the access to do that and being heard. So we're always trying to get people to watch our film and have discussions around what it's about.
All right, thank you guys so much.
It was an amazing experience. I had the opportunity to speak about the importance of telling stories. And I met some amazing people that shared their stories also.
As an intern here at the Daily Planet, I spent a lot of time writing and reflecting, learning to tell my story as I work to help others tell their stories.
It's about what we're doing together and what we're creating together, making partnerships, and kind of deconstructing those categories that we're all thrown into.
It's not enough to just write a story. When I'm working on a story, I'm thinking about who is this about? What am I trying to convey? What are my goals? Have I pulled out the nuances of the story? Have I gone out and met with the people who I'm writing about? Have I asked for their perspective, not just the quote, but what's beneath the surface about their circumstances and what they're concerned about? If I don't have all those pieces, then it's why am I writing this story? What is the purpose? So that's what I think we have to do. We have to dig deeper. We have to think about what is the purpose of what we're doing and what are we trying to change? So my hope is that at the end of the day, you'll recognize the power that you hold, you'll continue to lend your voices, and you'll stay involved.